What's going on YouTube? Today's going to be a interesting video. Part of it's going to be a light review of the Line 6 Helix Stadium XL, but really the purpose of this video is to compare it to my AXE-FX. I've been anxiously awaiting this release because I've used the AXE-FX for forever. I've had several of them. I now have the AXE-FX III, and I've been waiting for this release because I was interested to see if anything could knock it off its hill. Because as far as I'm concerned, the AXE-FX is in a league of its own. It's literally the best by miles, and has been since its release. Again, my opinion. Line 6 I've been a huge fan of. I've had their pods. I think their amp modeling is very strong. I think their effects are very strong. I just think they've been a more affordable option, and I definitely believe you get what you pay for. AXE-FX is a premium product. It's significantly more expensive, and I think it's worth it. So that's what we're going to do in this video. Let's go. Okay, so this is the new Line 6 Stadium. I'm sure you've seen a million videos. I've seen what it looks like. What I want to start with is the build quality. This thing is built like a tank. It is fantastic. I don't think anybody will be concerned with taking this gigging, touring, however you want to use it. I have it up on this ledge and on the floor, so I could just for demonstration purposes. But it's an all metal chassis. It's actually pretty heavy, to be honest. But yeah, build quality is fantastic. If you're familiar with the Line 6, then this is probably going to seem very familiar to you. So let me just go through the interface really quick, so we don't have to keep going back and forth throughout the video. This is the screen you're greeted with. It's what I consider the home screen. When you press the home button, this is where it sends you. But I can't say enough about this touchscreen display, because there are ways to use these buttons to navigate around, but I find it easier to use this amazing touchscreen that shows all the factory presets, all the user presets, and there's a lot. It comes with, I don't know how many, I'll put up on the screen how many there are, but I can't remember how many factory presets are. I know there's over 1,000 user presets, banks that you can store, which is pretty remarkable. I'm going to start with what's probably pretty obvious. The most powerful piece of this is the display, and how easy, and not just the display, the user interface. What a great job Line 6 did making it so easy to make a new preset, to modify an existing one. I'm going to start with this one just so you see how this is a factory preset, and I'm just going to go in so I can show you guys how easy it is to modify. I'm clicking on the amp. I'm going to click here because I want to see other amps, and there they are. They all just pull up. You can break it apart if you want to filter by guitar amp, bass amp, legacy guitar, legacy bass. Or if you're like me and you want a visual, you like to see them, you can literally just go find the amp you want to use. And one of the things that I will show you later in this video, but I think the weakest part of the AXE-FX is that it doesn't have this. It's very difficult to use the AXE-FX using its interface on the front. In fact, I'd probably never have continued to use it if it didn't have the desktop version of it. I used the desktop version to control the AXE-FX for everything. This is so good, I would make an argument it's actually easier to use this than it is to use their desktop software. That's how good this is. I really can't stress enough. So let's go back to that home screen, and let me just walk you through the lines here. So this is, again, a factory preset. They have a volume pedal in line here. They have a wah, distortion, scream, and again, all of these are turned off right now, but you can turn them on to the pedals. You can modify them. Again, you'd have to store it as a user preset at that point if you make any changes, but it's that easy. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to make a new preset. So check this out. You can start with a completely blank preset, which I think nobody wants to do, right? Because you have to literally go through everything, put in all the blanks. what they did was they made this quick start, which I love. You click that, and it literally gives you just a bass. It gives you a volume pedal. All of this is turned off right now, so except the amp and the cab. But it just basically populates this with most things you're going to use. And if you don't want to use them, so for example, like this has a delay. If you wanted to remove one of these, you literally can just clear the block. You press and hold on it, all these things come up. But anyway, let's build a new sound here, because I want you guys to see how easy this really is. This is what you hear. It's pretty bad. That's because I've done absolutely nothing with this. I haven't selected an amp that I want. So let's pick a Sedano. I love Sedanos. So that's our amp. And now I can go back to the screen. I can pick a cab. Let's do that. Actually, it's a pretty good cab already. Let's just find like a Marshall cab. Keep it pretty simple. Did I go volume? I did. So that's the cab. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen this focus button. It's probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. So anything you select, right now we're on the amp. Anytime you see this little button, it allows you to go into focus mode. And again, like everybody else, I really did think this was a gimmick. I did not think it was going to be anywhere near as cool as it is. What this focus does, if you watch here, all the different knobs on the amp, as I move this, it's moving all of those dials for me. So if I start in the middle, let me do that. All right. Okay, now I'm going to move this. I'm going to play an A, and I'm going to move this while the guitar is playing. While we're here, this is a perfect opportunity to show you guys the tuner, because this is slightly out of tune. I can hear just from the chorus that I'm playing. It's driving me nuts. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought, but. So I liked the lead by far out of all that. Tight. Maybe I like the tight. But that's really dry. And if you still wanted to mess with it, let's say, okay, that is tight, but I just wanted to crank up the drive. All right, now let's go back to our effects. We're going to pick a reverb. I actually really like dynamic plates. So it does the same thing with the effects. So bright splash. Over here. Listen to that, man. It's just it's made. The effects of this are amazing. Okay, I can sit here all day playing with this, so I'll stop. So that's just a quick, light review of this. This can do so many more things. The last thing I do want to show you guys is I saved some factory presets that I really like that I would just want to go through. I saved them as my own. So this Joe Riley one. That one is pretty awesome. Just this regular plexi. And they have the tube, you know, the tube feel down when you back off the volume. This is a really pretty one. This is a clean sound. It's just a very pretty sound. Pink Floyd. Again, the effects are incredible. And this is the last one I'm going to do. Okay, So now what I'm going to do is I want to show you guys something I built. Again, my purpose for this video was to compare it to my AXE-FX. So I built a preset. If you guys know me and have watched my channel, you'll know that my sound I'd like to call Krisinized. And that's this sound. So I've recreated it within the new Line 6 to compare it, and I did it exactly. I used the same amp, same effects, same everything, and I'm going to play the exact same thing back to back, comparing the Line 6 to the AXE-FX. You guys tell me, just from a tone and effects perspective, which one you... And I'm going to play something pretty basic, so I don't go all crazy with the playing and make it screw up and all that stuff. I'll keep it pretty straight so that you guys can compare just the pure tone. There we go. So now this is the AXE-FX. Okay, so that was just a quick comparison. But what I want to show you guys as well is what's on my screen right now. So this is the desktop software to control the AXE-FX. And It is by far a 9-day difference by trying to use the front interface. I'll put a picture of the AXE-FX. It's way down in my rack, and I don't have an easy way to get it on camera. But to go through the amps, I mean, there are literally hundreds of amps in here that you can use. There's hundreds of cabs. There's hundreds of every option you can imagine you can go through. You know, you can change all of these. The software is very easy to use, you know, to go through all your presets. And, you know, there's God knows how many, 511 you can use. So you have a lot of versatility with this, and it's really the sound. I just can't say enough about it. There is another thing to talk about with the Line 6, and this has everything to do with gigging musicians. It has nothing to do with guys like me who just stay home and we're rocking out in our living rooms. It's not going to affect you. There is seamless recording. I'm going to do this on the AXE-FX first because I have it connected right now. But if I were to start playing right now, let me pick up my guitar. I'm on my Krisinized now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my next preset. Do you see how it was perfect? No delay, no sound, it went right to it. Now I'm using a different sound. All right, so now we're on the Line 6. I'm going to go to the next preset while I'm playing. Did you hear that? Like, it gives a good second delay. I think you guys get the point. That is a big problem for gigging musicians. I know there's ways around it, and you know the band can help compensate, and you know it is fast enough that again I think it's workable. But again, when you compare it to the AXE-FX rather, that would be a deal breaker for me if I was in a band. You know, my years when I was in a band, that would have driven me crazy. Let's get back to the point of this video. Just getting back to the AXE-FX really quick, because I know I went through this very quickly, but on my screen, I'm still recording, so I just want to make sure you guys know, again, this will be a quick tutorial of the AXE-FX as well. All of this stuff is super easy to move around. You know, you can undo things, you can move things back. If you really get screwed up, just go to the next bank and go back, and it will be fixed because you didn't save anything. If I wanted to change this delay to a different type of delay, you just click it, you go to the type of delay that you want. Let's say I want an analog stereo delay. I can change the input gain, the mix, everything. If I want to change the cab, what mic is being used, the room air, everything is you can change. It's pretty incredible. And again, Fractal's been doing this for years. They're known for this. And like I said, I think they're on the top of the hill. There's no one that's even close to touching them. What I will say though that has impressed me about this Line 6 is that gap is significantly closer now. You guys now heard the sound bites, and I don't mind telling you now that my opinion is the AXE-FX still sounds significantly better. But I do think they're close. I think the only reason I feel the way I do and have the opinions I do is because I've been playing the AXE-FX for so long. And again, I know tone is an opinion, but I genuinely think it does sound better. But how much better? You know what I mean? Like, the price of the Line 6 is a little cheaper, so it does make it a somewhat more affordable option. But when I say a little bit cheaper, I'll put the numbers on the screen to make sure I have them right, but I'm pretty sure the AXE-FX is like $2,400, $2,500. So it's already a couple $100 more, but then you have to spend another $700 or $800 to get this pedal. You don't have to get the one that I have. I have the FC12, the big one. They have a smaller one that's literally half that price, I think. But again, that's an additional cost. Then you have to buy a volume pedal or something to use as an expression pedal for crybabies, wahs, all that stuff. So I know that the AXE-FX is the more expensive option, but I think it's the better option. I just think. Now, that goes into, do you need it? You know, unless you're a studio musician and you're really mirroring and making sounds, if you need to sound exactly like Van Halen, if you're in a Van Halen cover band, I think both of these can get close. I think Line 6 has really bridged that gap, but they're a hell of a lot closer than they were. I just don't think they're there yet. I think the AXE-FX is by far the best thing out there. The other thing to think about is mobility. My God, if that's not enough of a selling point for the Line 6, everything's in this one pedal. You know, you put it on the floor, you plug in, you're done. The AXE-FX is not that simple, and I know they have 4 versions that are, you know, you can make this argument, and I'm not going into, I don't want to go into this pissing contest of, you know, which is better, which is the right option. I'm using their flagship rack-mounted AXE-FX III. I don't have the Mark II, this is the Mark I. I didn't think they made enough changes to get the Mark II. I'll probably look at the next one. But that is that's why I was so disappointed with that delay between banks, because if they fixed that, which I'm 99% sure they could with just an update, this is a no-brainer. I would 100% recommend this to any gigging musician. It's that good. It's close enough. The sound, no one's going to notice. When you're in a bar, when you're on stage, you know, and there's reverb and the acoustics of whatever environment you're in, it's not, the difference is so slight, no one's going to notice. And like I said, Line 6 did such a fantastic job making this so easy to use. I can't stress that enough. People that don't know what they're doing, that focus knob really lets you dial in sound. It sounds great. You don't need to know how to mess with each and every knob. They made it kind of super proof. But anyway, that was my quick demo of them both. You guys tell me what you think. Maybe I'm crazy and you're like, oh my God, Chris, the Line 6 sounds way better. Then go buy one. Because I can honestly say, whichever you buy, you're not going to be unhappy with. If I was rating this 10 out of 10, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10, just because most of that thing has to do with the delay between switching banks. Everything else about this, I think, is fantastic. I think the sounds are great, I think the effects are great. The usability and the interface, I can't give Line 6 enough credit. I think it's fantastic. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Until next time, keep rocking, guys.